2 games of Miramar coming your way, and then we will end on Sanhok as always. But will things change around now? Because Airstation, Mike, they can be quite a dab hand when it comes to good old Miramar. Will it be good enough to help them get back up to where they once were?
Well, they need it. They need that. Again, don't get me wrong, they're not super low down in the overall standings, but considering what they did in group stages, in the first week of final stages, definitely seem to be struggling. But this is overall standings. After that last game, we see Team Moose still down in the last place. BetterLuckNxTime in 15th. Only 20 points away from last crew, but they still got a tall mountain to climb.
And Jokers, on the other hand, they're up at 194 and not too far away from chasing the likes of QuickMath and ELGIGANTEN. Elgi are going to be very happy they got that win in general just because it was able to give them the big enough boost for it. Unity have dropped down only 1 spot, but there's only 1 point between them. And this is what I'm saying, right? PG18, 3D Max, and InsideGames. These guys, there's nowhere in my mind they're getting knocked out of this top 8. They've got enough points already.
I would definitely agree, especially PG18 and 3D Max. I'm still going to put InsideGames into the kind of team that could drop down into the bottom 8 just because they haven't been as consistent as 3D Max and PG18.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm down with that, especially the start for InsideGames was kind of lackluster in this final stage. But this is what can happen. People can turn it around. They can step it up. And at least the likes of Jokers and Milky Way, they'll be sat there thinking, okay, a little bit further, push that a little bit harder, right? We can make it. We're not too far away.
Definitely. As we head into Miramar, just one little interesting tidbit, and it definitely echoes on the fact that you highlighted so many times about PG18's consistency. They've only won 1 chicken dinner in the whole of Phase 3 final stage.
See?
When you look down, it's kind of like 1 for PG18, 2 for 3D Max, 2 for InsideGames, 3 for Uni, and 3 for Tornado Energy, and then Airstation might have 4, as do QuickMath. So it's like, there's not chicken dinner's all important, but if you're not following it up with consistency with those 6, 7, 8, 9 point games, you're really putting yourself under pressure.
Mate, this is what makes me laugh, right? Some of these teams that are owned by good organizations, and every time their team gets a chicken dinner, they're like super hyped and tweet out like, yeah, we just won. It's like, you did win. Great game. Not denying it. Good way to get it done. But that doesn't actually guarantee you squat, because you can, yes, if you're winning every game, yeah, of course you're going to have all the points, no problem. But I mean, winning a chicken dinner every now and again does not guarantee you it. When you look at a PG18, #1 team at the moment within this lobby, like you just said, haven't won a game, but their consistency across all of the games in general have been positive.
Exactly.
And they've even been able to allow themselves a few of those games where they drop off completely. We've seen them get 0 point games before, but their average is so high that it makes up for it.
Exactly. Now we look at this Phase 1 circle. It's going up northeast. You have Cruz de Val in there. You have Water Treatment. You have Tora Armada, Tierra Bronco. We haven't really seen much of this circle so far in the final stage. It's generally tended to be around the west side. I absolutely love this. And Water Treatment could be part of it. We did actually see one of these circles last week where it ended around Water Treatment, and but it hasn't been as far northeast as we've seen, so I'm really looking forward to this.
And for some of these teams, it's a different style of rotation to find their way in. And because of the way Miramar is, right, because of how the terrain can be, it does make some rotations difficult than others. And interesting to see where this next circle is going to go, right? Because if any teams gamble up at the north, and it just goes down south again, that's where you're going to have a whole world of problems. That's where Miramar becomes the true Chaos Valley.
Yep. And especially for a lot of the teams that are down between the west and the south direction, you have like Tornado Energy, you have 3D Max, you have YMCA, Tempest, InsideGames, all down and outside the circle. Going to have to try and find a viable rotation in. It's going to be a little bit easier for the likes of PG18, half of Team Moops, QuickMath, and Jokers, as well as even Last Crew, because they're in a nice, easy route, especially Jokers can just drive on by from the north side road.
Now, when it comes to actually looking at what teams might be fighting off against each other early on here, PG18 have got the eastern side covered to themselves by Impala, so they've got loads of room for now. So they probably won't fight until the next rotation in. InsideGames will leave Los Leones probably very fast.
Yep.
They'll get themselves out of there, but it depends on which way they go. If they go out towards the west, that's where majority of teams are. If they go off towards PG18, that's a team that I wouldn't personally want to deal with. You look over towards this eastern side by El Pozo, Tornado, 3D Max, Northern Lights, YMCA, even some of the MOOPHEUS players and BetterLuckNxTime team is there. These are all the guys pushing in from this eastern side, and that's where the real craziness is going to begin, because some of these teams will not be prepared to fight this early on.
And that's why we will see some of the teams like InsideGames, maybe 3D Max, leave it till phase 2 to possibly rotate into circle, or the very end of phase 1, because at that point a lot of teams will have rotated a little bit further into the circle and might find themselves on a safer route.
I just spoke about Northern Lights and YMCA soon to be fighting, and this is why it's going down like this, because there are just clusters of these teams dotted around each other. KnorkiS, now his vehicle was hurt, that's why Milky Way have moved on down. Offstring and Mans, they're not going to push in just yet. But is KnorkiS aware of their position? He should be once iZoom and co get there, because they're driving in vehicles. But the first two players that got there for Milky Way, they were very quiet with their approach. Double. Trying to avoid all the shots from ToWzErA there. He will escape for now. Took a bit of damage. So who is not escaping? It's KnorkiS. We spoke about it. We said he'd come there. He was loud and proud to get further forward. And he's even ensuring that ghostar now is just going to back away on his bike, because he does not want to deal with the rest of the Milky Way players.
And I do think that's a slight bit of a mistake by ELGIG. I've no problem split dropping and separating as kind of 4 individual players, but when you hold pretty much the center of the circle and a lot of teams around you are rotating in, when you leave yourselves individually kind of on your own, there's a high chance you are going to get caught out. That is what has happened for now, at least, on one member of ELGIGANTEN.
This is it for Jokers, losing a player early on. Now, both games. It's not what they would have wanted. Scary for them, but they can still do it. We've seen it. No problems at all. ELGIG going straight up against Unity. ghostar running round, and he's not holding any prisoners here. Instantly goes in for the finish off, but he won't be able to get anything else done. Nuctiv quickly turns around and provides the fire towards him. He'll get himself healed back up. There was some cover fire shots coming from the rest of the ELGIG players, but it won't do anything from here.
Okay, and ELGIG losing 2 players straight off the bat just because of not reacting quickly enough in my eyes. But Unity, they've lost a member, but they still stay 3-man strong in a relatively center part of the circle. Now, BetterLuckNxTime, they're rotating in from the north side or from the northwest side. We have Last Crew behind them there in the blue zone. Then you have 3D Max down south rotating in, Northern Lights rotating in from around the southwest direction as well. And InsideGames, I've talked about them leaving it a little bit later to rotate in. They're only now getting to the edge of the circle.
Now there's plenty of space for them as well, because PG18 have worked their way up north just above El Azahar. Northern Lights and 3D Max still going for a similar rotation up themselves down from the south. The eastern side, though, is very empty compared to the west. It's the western side that I spoke about earlier, which has had these little individual fights go down.
Northern Lights being called out. 3D Max have Picado as a bit of a protection. Practice popping shots off. Direction trying to find that safety. One of his wheels on the buggy has been knocked down. Will make it a little bit slower.
You looked at him turn around there and going, oh, really? Like, no, why? So we've all done it before, I'm sure. You turn around, you go, yep, okay, you got my tyre. That's it. I'll just leave that one there.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's a painful thought. But the good thing is all of Northern Lights are very close to the circle, and they're just stopping, actually, 3D Max having a chance to go in. 3D Max now will be going down south away from Picado, and they'll go for a different rotation in. They don't want to take this fight. They're aware that it could cost them a lot, and they're not willing to trade it.
I like that from 3D Max. Sometimes it's kind of so easy to be tunnel vision and go, okay, we have a chance to get these kills, but if there's also a chance that you could lose a player early on, it's not the prime position that you want to be in as a team. It's still early game. Get the hell out of there. That's exactly what they've done.
You can almost like draw a little flow chart with it, right? You say, okay, who's got the better position? Who's close to the circle? Yeah. They have. There's no real need for us to fight it. Do we need the points? Not right now. We'll just drop down. We'll take our time. And they've actually gone all the way into the blue. They'll take some further damage, but they'll find themselves coming up, probably through Impala, and working their way up a similar direction as PG18 did.
Pretty much. Now, we did see another member of Jokers going down. So they're put down to 2. Now it's just TheTab and Moon left standing. They're separated. They're not together. I would very heavily advise on Miramar, stick together, especially when you are only 2 members left. They are in the circle, so they're safe for now as far as kind of facing the pressure of the edge or pressure of the blue zone. But with the teams rotating in as it shifts down east direction, man, that's a huge shift.
Now, 3D Max are still not on this map. If we zoomed out, you would then be able to see them. But this is actually going to be heaven for them because they're going to come up probably from where Impala is and work their way in from there. PG-18 are going back downwards now. They were up further towards the north of El Azahar. So they're looking to try and take the central spot and get themselves to high ground over here.
Heaven for 3D Max, but it's also potentially hell because it questions how far away they are from the circle because they shifted so far down south. So by the time they get to the edge of the circle, will they be pinched by the teams that are rotating in? Something we will have to find out as Milky Way making their way through Al Azahar. PG-18 are to the north of them, InsideGames are to the south of them.
And he finds himself being picked off on the rotation. Spiro looking to do the damage. Found himself the first kill. We'll let the other teammate go by. There's not too much they can do when they're all going fast forward. But at least for Northern Lights, they've kept 4 alive. They've taken the fight against 3D Max, who have then gone for an opposite rotation. And now they can work their way into the circle however they like. And they'll also have the information of where Tempest is coming from. The thing for Tempest is, they're probably thinking, cool, we'll go for a whole different rotation. We don't expect anyone to be here. They might end up running into 3D Max.
Pretty much. Definitely going to be a tough day in the office for Tempest in this second game. They are good, relatively solid in Miramar. We've seen them pull out really calculated plays and really strong games, holding on to those late phases, those late circles, and as a 3-4-man team. Cleveland in particular has really shown that he can dominate in all areas of the map, given a chance. Now, the teams that are rotating from the north, you have Tornado Energy, Lasker, and BetterLuckNxTime.
So many players being ripped from their cars here. Rotations, rotations, rotations. The road may sound like a lovely way to make your way around Miramar, considering how difficult the terrain is to handle.
Yep.
But when you've got teams who are post up on the side of the road, ready to rob you blind, I don't mean stop you and take everything from you. I mean to shoot you straight out the car and then take it all from you. That's probably the worst way to go. It's like going into some, you know them American horror movies where you're like deep down in the south where like hardly anyone lives. There's like 50 people in the town. And they're all like hills have eyes, kind of like inbred as hell. Like that's what I'm imagining. These kind of people on the side of the road just ripping you. You don't want to mess with them. They like eat human flesh and stuff.
Boy, that escalated quickly, but
I see what I've been doing in my time off.
Yep. Okay.
Horror movies. It's the future. I'll point out that I wasn't watching the horror movies with my son.
Were you showing your...
No, we've been watching lots of Paw Patrol. Yep. I now know the theme tune off by heart.
I was expecting some more Paw Patrol.
I'm definitely not singing it. No, I can't do that.
Oh, man.
If I gave you Paw Patrol references, I'd be basically teaching you like what you should have learned in primary school. Don't know if I remember what I learned in primary school back then either. Melman's hoping that his car is going to stay alive. It's taking multiple shots towards it. He's healed himself up. The YMCA players are hot on his heels, but they'll take damage from the circle. It's not the end of the world. It's only phase 2. Melman just wants to hope he can group back up. Well, actually, I'm saying group back up, but he is the only one left for his team. That's not what he would have wanted. Where are the rest of the Tornado players? They've gone down, but who has also gone down is PG-18. These fools wander on the floor as well. Nade's going out. Ubika trying to save his teammate there. Wanderer might be able to escape, but Ubika's got a tough job on his hands. Oh, that nade. Wow.
Perfect.
Spot on. Double gets the job done. And Ubika now knows that he could be heavily under pressure at any moment.
That's the team moves we want to see, right? The aggressive team moves, to not back in the way. Hold on to your position and kind of say, no, we're going to stay where we are. You got to really take us down if you want to go through us. But we could see Recrant connecting on to Double. Double does see him. I think
No,
No, he
Double's got no idea.
doesn't.
Double is so focused and tunnel visioned, as is all of Moops, on
Yep.
Ubika's position. That means Recrent, he's watching all of this, but he knows the distance, even with his 8 times, is going to make this very hard. That if they're moving, he needs someone to just stop for enough time that he can try and land a headshot. But his teammates already fallen, and Recrent, at this point, you may as well just back away, buddy. Try and prone and solo your way through out of this. I know there's still 16 teams remaining, but you don't want to be that one that goes out in 16.
And we've now got 3 to 4 teams heading in the direction of Al-Azhar. And now Kajudi got caught out by TAB. The Jokers, 1 or 2 players left on the side of Jokers, trying to pick up as many points as they can. Zubiga kill confirmed on the side of PG-18. Now only Recrent left standing.
We must have like 3 or 4 solo players at this point already. That's the rough spot.
By the way, if you were wondering where the rest of Tornado Energy are, they're there. You got Compot, an example. Melvin has joined up with the rest of his team.
Oh, brilliant. So he wasn't on his own. I was about to say, I didn't feel like I'd seen Tornado players die. So it isn't too bad for them. They're slightly split up, which means if they take on individual fights, it could be difficult. I'm hoping Melman got whatever's in that crate close by as well. 3D Max, look, they're finally in and they're taking shots all up towards Moop. So they've come up to a similar direction where PG-18 were. They heard the shots and they came running for it. Airstation Mike, they're managing to get a bit of damage done here. And they're working their way through like a true army platoon, checking out all the buildings, dealing with it one by one. And if they catch any of these players on Milky Way all solo, it could work out in their favor. Hugstar landing a couple of shots there, but isn't able to get the knock in just yet.
Oh no, Recurrent, the final member of PG-18, not only has to worry about the side the team moves, but now we see 3D Max rotating in from the south. We talked about him. I thought it might be a bit of a nightmarish play for them to try and make their way in, but they've had it relatively quite easy. Still a full squad. Now, when we look at these kind of city plays, normally we don't see teams heading into a city, but right now we have 3 teams, and that's partly because there's not really that many high ground solid positions that these teams can hold on to, and whatever is available is already taken.
And this next circle popping is going to be the one that decides a lot. And that will mean that at least the El-Azhar teams can stay where they want to, unless they want to try and jump out and fight for some more central spots. But we know compounds to fight within. Elgig and Last Crew are still very close to each other. The final 2 members of Elgig, remember, they lost their opening 2 players very early on, before I think the 7-minute mark.
Yep. It's going to be very tough for them. We see Last Crew surrounding them quite heavily. Although shots are being fired, I think, by the direction of Tornado Energy that they'll have to be careful of.
And Last Crew need to all try and get themselves in the spot to fight through this. Flashbang was used then, but to no avail just yet. Last Crew finally got themselves into the building, but now they need to deal with this in the right way. Elgig ready and waiting for it. As soon as they poke through, there's going to be multiple shots, but they need to get some sort of a crossfire going on. They can hear all the footsteps of Last Crew trying to work their way in. Morpheus is just holding the angle, waiting for them to push up. But Last Crew are taking shots at other people. Surely they knew that Elgig are going to be up here. So you need to make sure that you go and clear this out. Maybe if they've got another flash, they try and use that into it, or even better, get a few more grenades in.
Well, yeah, because it's actually not Tornado Energy. It's Unity and BetterLuckNxTime that are popping shots. Also, it's stopping Last Crew from pushing on forward onto the side of Elgig, keeping them quite passive now. We do see in the picture-in-picture, Airstation Mike pushing through against each member of Milky Way one by one as Milky Way get closer to InsideGames. Jazza was taken out, leaving Airstation Mike down to 3 players.
And we saw that was going to happen for Milky Way. 2 split up. Last Crew were keeping it together. And they were able to get the job. I say Last Crew, not Last Crew. Who was in there with them? Airstation Mike. Airstation Mike was clearing through every single building. As a 2-man, they're ready to deal the damage onto it.
Jokers have lost Moon, leaving just the TAB left standing on the northwest side of the circle. Grenade throws out. He's going to have to back away from that.
Oh, Quizzy managed to land the headshot as well when he forced them into... So the nade came out and forced Last Crew backwards into another room. Quizzy's taking more shots here. AK Skills has got no idea from which direction it might be coming from.
I think he has an idea. That's part of the reason why he jumped on top of the bed, avoiding the peek from that window.
And 1 knock comes in, straight in for the second. Elgig are out in 16th place. Really well played from Last Crew, considering how much pressure they were under from Unity as well.
That's only the first team that have gone out as well.
Yep.
Crazy.
From
18
first to
minutes in.
last.
I know. Absolutely unbelievable. Last crew, they had to make that call. They had to push through. It was only a matter of time. It was becoming harder and harder for them the longer they left this. So they got that job done. They'll push on through on the edge of the circle.
Airstation Mike aren't done yet, though. Hugstar, ToWzErA, fake. All trying to work their way in. It's Mans and DP who are still around. But InsideGames will be hearing all of this. Hugstar's pushed up. He's managed to get the first knock in. DP's not done a reply just yet, but that is huge. Milky Way go down, and they will not be fighting for the rest of Miramar.
And now we then see Northern Lights pushing on through against the side of Tempest. Tempest had moved their way down from the south in the direction of the southwest direction. Northern Lights held on to their ground for quite a while. Okay, Bro is the only one that's actually left standing. QuickMath are also rotating from the west. So, okay, Bro, he's in a really tough... He's in a tough position. I don't think he's going to be able to get past this. The only thing he can hold on to is the fact that maybe Tempest and QuickMath might connect onto each other.
Lots of fights also going on between 3D Max, Last Crew. Last Crew unable to make it away from where they took down the remaining ELGIG players. They are fighting back, though. Solar's gone down. Okay, Bro still trying to hang on to this rock face. He's doing a bit of mountain climbing. But is he going to be able to climb his way up into the points? 14 teams remain, and he is a solo player. It's going to be oh so difficult, but maybe they'll leave him alone.
And the circle has shifted to the northeast direction. PG18 go down in 14th place. Unfortunately, leaving QuickMath in a tough play to try and get into the circle, as do Tempest and Northern Lights. The two teams on the edge of Al-Azhar, Airstation Mike, InsideGames are still inside the circle. Tempest are then on the southeast side.
Northern Lights now out in 12th place as well. Not a great start for them. We said they needed points. We said they need to bring their A game. First two games, it's not been shown. 3D Max, they bit off more than they could chew going up against Last Crew. That was incredible. Last Crew, 4 players up, still taking shots from elsewhere, also fighting to try and push into the circle. 3D Max came and thought they could try and jump in after they dealt with the ELGIG players, and instead 3D Max are completely done and out of it now.
Great plays, great aggression coming out by Last Crew. YMCA, they're outside the circle. They're going to be going in the direction of Tornado Energy. They'd be much better off heading down towards the west direction as Tempest do get eliminated by Airstation Mike. Airstation Mike looking like the previous Airstation Mike we've seen, pushing on through against these teams, taking them out one by one. Great play by them so far in this game.
And of course, it's on Miramar as well for Airstation Mike. The problem they have is they're still towards the north of Al-Azhar, but they've got a full squad of InsideGames right by them to fight with them. And it means that both of these teams at one point are going to push out at a similar time, unless the circle still continues to go in their favor.
Well, the good thing for InsideGames is that they've kind of stayed relatively quiet. They've been building up their level of utility that they'll be able to use should it be needed. Zampula gets connect on QuickMath, take down YMCA. We can't disregard what QuickMath can do. They push through from outside the circle on the southwest direction to the inside. They have nice position that they can hold on to, that they can peek on through. Now as team moves, they're facing up against BetterLuckNxTime. They've kept fairly quiet. BetterLuckNxTime now sticking together as a 4-man team, although Arctic's a little bit further away from the other 3 members. Kjoran on the side of Team Boops, just hiding behind that rock. Hopefully any grenade that heads in that direction will be able to be avoided, but it's going to be damn tough. Nope, he gets knocked down.
And the BetterLuckNxTime players had a kill stolen away. It was ToWzErA who actually took the last shot onto Hawkey's vehicle.
I didn't even notice that.
So BetterLuckNxTime thinking, yeah, we did that. Oh, okay. But at least they got one kill in the end. They managed to get Kjoran down. Kissik's now under fire, though. It's the Unity players doing it. And Unity probably in the best spot within this current circle. InsideGames and Airstation Mike all have to work their way up north into the new circle, and they're going to have themselves a tough fight on their hands because they're probably going to go head-to-head unless one of them makes a wild swing into information they don't just have yet.
Oh, the 3 members of Airstation Mike have gotten in those vehicles and have rotated into the circle very quickly. Now Melman, Tornado Energy, knocked down ball in a QuickMath, and Diggory gets knocked down. That's leaving just Encelenzo left standing for QuickMath.
Nades galore. Nades doing a lot of damage. And Airstation Mike, they go out. They tried to do it in vehicles. They tried to push forward, but InsideGames ready and waiting for him.
Yeah, it was a tough call. They tried to make it, but it didn't work out. And part of the reason was because InsideGames kept fairly quiet all through the L as a higher region. Quick Math go out in 7th place, leaving 6 teams left. 17 players left standing. Unity in the center circle. Team Moose has shifted from the from the east to the west side of the circle.
And InsideGames push up here with 4 players alive. They've got the numbers. They've got a good bit of spread going on here, so that means that nades, at least if they get close, won't be able to knock everyone down in one go. Sending one player, Pixel, out on the flank towards the eastern side of it all, or at least where there's actions going down. But they've got Moops and Tornado nearby. And then if you go too far out north into the open, you're just open-eyed to Unity. They'll be able to see everything you're trying to do.
Now Tornado Energy throwing grenades in the direction of InsideGames, just kind of pushing them back a little bit, hoping one of them can connect. When you look at who has Stronghold, I really like InsideGames' position down in south, other than Team Moops. Yeah, okay, Tornado Energy is a threat, but they're more on the west side. The InsideGames, they have a lot of protection where they can just peek and shoot, and they can also reposition because the only other team that's even to the east of them is BetterLuckNxTime, and they're making their way more up towards the north side of the circle.
Now, last crew still with only 2 players up in this. Oh, the nades galore coming out towards Reggie. He manages to avoid it for now, but then the fire comes his way. Multiple shots in his direction, and he's not going to be able to stand up for too much longer. Decides to prone down, but he wants to back away, and he tries to do that. It's Orange that's able to find him. Unity, I said, the moment you go out into the open, they will be ready for it. And even InsideGames, they're going to have to deal with this as well. Unity have such a good hold on this because of their compound.
And that's going to give information to both Tornado Energy and InsideGames, right? That's going to say to them, oh, we really have to take into account that there's a team in that compound to the north side of us, that we really have to be careful of how we position ourselves. So spreading apart, holding those angles is very, very important for these teams that are down south and to the west.
You can see Tornado, they're just backing away. They're not trying to fight InsideGames now. They also don't want to get pinched between InsideGames and Unity, so they're looking for a different way to approach this. Double, though, for Moops. Solo player, he's completely prone. His teammate went down, and he knew he's just got to try and hang in there as long as possible. And there is a good chance that he might be able to get some additional placement points. He's just got to wait it all out as a nade comes out incredibly close to him from Pixel. Pixel seems to have the information, but it didn't manage to get the knockdown.
I think that was, if anything, that was a mistake. I feel not a mistake, but just happened to just catch on to him. But now seniks gets connected on by Compa, and Faultlessly from BetterLuckNxTime steals that kill away.
Yoink. I'll take that one. Better luck next time. Getting a bit of revenge from where Unity stole away their 1 kill. They'll do it onto whoever they can. And kill stealing is a legit thing to do. An additional point to go in your favor when they've done all the work. It means less effort for you, but also a big win in terms of that 1 kill costing you so very little.
Now Faultlessly, Arctics and Fate making their way towards last crew on the north side. Unity, Quizzy connecting onto Jappy, taking that kill away, leaving Rip left standing. 6 teams, 14 players. Tornado Energy, our 3-man squad, although Example does get knocked down.
Moops, double, he's finally found. Odstrelovac's the one to do it. Fate's finding himself knocked out there by Rip, but Rip is prone and solo in the open as well. There's only so much he's going to be able to do. We're just waiting for this all to happen.
And look at how hard it is for InsideGames. Yes, they got the better of double. That's part of the reason why Tornado Energy shifted their way up northwards, because the second InsideGames have to make their way into the circle, it's right out in the open, which is very, very tough indeed, because they've used a lot of utility already to get where they have in this circle.
He saw a Nuctive there take a good amount of damage. He was focused on Compot while Example took shots at him. Melman's also on the side. And this is where Unity have to be careful. Don't allow them to get too close.
Yep.
Don't find yourself focusing on too many areas. Keep your wits about you, have an understanding of where they are, but try and allow some of these other fights to go down and then come in to steal the kills away. Faultlessly, taking a few taps. Unable to connect them perfectly, but he's looking to do more damage. Fate's back on the floor, and it seems to be a repeating scenario here for BetterLuckNxTime. They're desperately trying to find an angle or an edge they can work from. but this is getting so difficult.
Well, I don't think they directly expected somebody to be in that direction, especially somebody like the Tornado Energy side, who were predominantly on the west to the southwest direction. Odstrelovac gets taken down by Faultlessly. A better look next time, just pinching the InsideGames team from outside the circle. All those smokes that are in those fires just being crossed off. Faultlessly managed to, actually no, it was Orange that took it away. InsideGames do get taken out in 5th place.
Unity up at 7 kills. They've been within this compound for the longest time. They're still in the circle now. They just have to have a good idea of what's going on around them. And every single window now is going to be looked at by at least one member of a different team, which means Unity need to have complete understanding of what's going on here.
I know Unity have put in a lot of work to get damage, but I do wonder how much damage they've got, because they've also stolen a couple of kills away from these teams. So it'd actually be very interesting on how much damage they have in total in this game. But they're being pinched right now by both BetterLuckNxTime and Tornado Energy. So it's very tough. No team has a full squad up. It's 3v3v3. And also there's last crew on the edge.
Mr. Rip still hanging in there for dear life. Now he does have a small ridge to hide behind. Maybe you call that a molehill, if anything. But it's BetterLuckNxTime that might likely find him first. fate able to get the knock onto Orange, and that's a huge start. This also says to Tornado that if they wanted, they can start to try and push on it. But it's whoever pushes next will lose a lot, while the other team of 3, which is BetterLuckNxTime, can just sit back and chill. So it's how do you want to play this? Because whichever team kind of goes in last could be the one that comes up top trumps. As Quizzy, he tries to make the run across. Tons of damage goes his way, and Fate will find him as well. The nade's in there, and they both go down. And Nuctiv, the only player left for Unity, and it's all gone horribly wrong. They had control for the longest amount of time, and now he's a solo player.
Great play by BetterLuckNxTime, using the shots and the grenades to really put pressure onto the side of Unity, and now they're turning their attention onto BetterLuckNxTime. The revive is coming through. The center circle is more predominantly in the favor of Tornado Energy, but we can't deny Rip of last crew. No, yes we can, because he dies to play zone. Down to 3 teams, 7 players. Tornado Energy looking on top.
Rip did not want to give that point away, but BetterLuckNxTime, they're looking to grab this entire game. They dealt some huge damage there onto Example, and they're still pushing forward. But Faultlessly, he knows he needs to check every single angle, every vehicle, every tree to ensure no one catches him by surprise. Tornado have grabbed control of the compound now, and this gives them a huge advantage, at least in terms of getting cover. But BetterLuckNxTime, they want to push on this. They want to find a way in. But it's all about at least getting another knock to ensure that this could be an easy victory.
This could still go in the favor of Nuctiv if he just stays where he is. Do not move a beat and let BetterLuckNxTime and Tornado Energy take each other out.
Compot looking to see if he can find anyone near the smoke there, and Nuctiv has been seen. Is he going to go for it? Drops himself a smoke down by the looks of it. Time for it to happen. Melman spraying away. Fate comes out in the nick of time, and Fate waits for Melman to run out of bullets. Will finish him off, and he gives BetterLuckNxTime the upper hand, but he is very low on health, and he's still doing damage. 4 health, and another knock comes in. How much more can he get done? Unity go down, and now it's between Tornado and BetterLuckNxTime, and BetterLuckNxTime have a massive advantage. They come in with the win. It's a 10-kill chicken dinner on Miramar.
Man, Fate, 4 health, took down 2 members of Tornado Energy. Ridiculous play from BetterLuckNxTime. They pushed through. I thought Tornado Energy were going to be able to get the better of it.
Yeah.
I did think Nuctiv could have held on a little bit more safer, but he was inside the house. He had to move out, and look, at the end of the day, it was still a great game by Unity. BetterLuckNxTime, 10 kills, chicken dinner, 20 points. Considering where they are in the standings, that's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, a little bit of a jump up for those guys. But BetterLuckNxTime have this, right? We see them get a win every now and again.
Yep.
This isn't the first one we've seen from them, but it's about them continuing that on. It's not good enough to have it just every now and again.
True, it's going to be their second chicken dinner in the final stage of Phase 3. They haven't really had, they've had a couple of second place, a couple of third place finishes, and of course double-digit points, but definitely not enough. Their position speaks for itself. Airstation Mike, they got taken out by InsideGames outside of Al-Azhar. I do think they had a much more impressive game with their rotations, taking down the likes of Milky Way. It seems like their old selves is coming back on form, but they made the call to rotate out of Al-Azhar quicker than InsideGames. It was a decision they made. Got to credit them for that. It just didn't go their way in that game.
Now we saw Airstation might go out and yet they were taking kills. They went out in 8th place but still managed 6 kills. So that's been a 7-point game for them either way, which is something they did need to see as a jump up. I want to see them really bring their A-level game to the next Miramar, though, because that's where we see them had a lot of success. And if they need these additional points, if they need to make up for what happened last week, this is the time to do it.
And I think part of the reason why they made that call, just to kind of extend on it a little bit, is because InsideGames, yes, they might have had intel that InsideGames were in El-Azhar at one point, but because InsideGames stayed so quiet, they could have presumed and they would have thought that maybe InsideGames had moved a little bit outside of El-Azhar or just completely away from them. So they made that call. It seemed like the calculated play didn't work out for them in the end.
Now, we look at the kills that some of these teams have got, right? So we saw 10 for BetterLuckNxTime in their win, but it was 4 for Tornado Energy despite the 2nd place, 7 for Unity with 3rd place, 5 for Last Crew with 4th place, 4 kills for 5th place InsideGames, 4 kills for MOOPHEUS with 6th place, 2 kills for QuickMath with 7, and 6 kills finally for Airstation Mike with 8. So quite a change in terms of how those kills are all going down, right? No one really running away from it other than BetterLuckNxTime and Airstation Mike.
Yeah, overall, quite an even game. And it was nice to see that circle. We don't really see that kind of ending circle too much where even a compound is in play, especially on Miramar. We might have a little shack or a shed in play, but not an actual house. And it was nice to see, and that kind of northeast circle really paid dividends for some of these teams. El-Azhar played a big impact because it was in the predominant part of all of these phases.
And Last Crew, they took on so many different fights. The fact they were able to deal away a 3D Max after they'd already they took away the last 2 LGIG players, I thought, okay, they're on for a good thing here. But it did cost them a lot getting involved with 3D Max. They lost 2 players from it. And from there on out, it became ever so difficult to deal with.
PG-18 getting 0 points in that game. It's unusual. We don't often see it from PG-18. But you know what? They're only human after all, you know?
They're not robots.
They're not robots. It can happen. LG getting 1 point. No, not just yet. Joker's getting 1 point. Definitely not what they needed considering a good first game. And then Northern Lights getting 4 points.
And there you go. Look at Unity, right? 7 kills of it gives them 2nd place overall. Tornado not far behind, and Last Crew in 4th. InsideGames, Airstation Mike, both walking away with 7. But Moops and Tempest will be happy for the additional 4, but it's still just not enough for what those boys need, really.
Yeah, like BetterLuckNxTime scored 11 more points than Last Crew, and considering they were around directly 20 points behind Last Crew, it's going to put them much closer. Tempest didn't have the strongest of games. When you look at YMCA, they didn't really have a good game. So the biggest winner of that game was definitely BetterLuckNxTime.
And that's the thing what people got to remember with PUBG Europe Contenders is, yes, top 8 is still where you want to be, but for the other teams within the top 12 and the other teams who don't want to have to requalify, getting yourselves up on the positions is still very vital. We talk about top 8 and we talk about winning it as a big deal, but there's a little bit more added to it because you don't want to have to go through Open again, right? You don't want to have to re-go through that. That's a grind and a half. So every game here is vital for all of these teams, even down on the bottom side of the table.
Now we look at it. Kill leaders, Fate of BetterLuckNxTime and Faultlessly. 9 kills from those 2 players alone out of their 10 in total.
You take that. It's not bad.
Not bad indeed. And then Orange and Zampeek, Unity and InsideGames, followed in 3rd and 4th. That's Unity, 1,500 damage and 7 kills. Considering a good few of those were kind of stolen away, still a great job by Unity.
You were worried about the damage they were doing, thinking, oh, yeah, Unity might not do that much damage. Well, no problem for these guys. They're still tapping away at whoever may walk their way. And the thing was, their compound, what they had there, which they had it for about 3 circles before the end, they were able to do so much damage from there because the moment you got into the open, you were able to be seen from that compound. It's so good overall.
Exactly.
Now, we've still got 1 Miramar game to come, which can add to any craziness that we've just seen. Airstation Mike, we talk about them being so good on Miramar. They certainly need the extra points in there. BetterLuckNxTime will be buzzing after that win and see that, okay, look, it's possible we can jump up that bit further. We'll be looking at the standings when we come back from a break, as always, and then we'll be going into our 3rd game of Miramar before going over to Sanok. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.